My dear brothers and sisters, today's gospel speaks to us about the imprisonment of Saint John the Baptist. Mystical authors see in this event something deeply symbolic. The imprisonment of John the Baptist marks, in a certain way, the closing of the Old Testament and the inauguration of the New. John, imprisoned, represents the Old Testament coming to an end. Jesus, who withdraws to Galilee, inaugurates a new stage in the history of salvation. It is there that he begins to preach the gospel. And Jesus begins his ministry with a clear and direct call: conversion, faith, and openness of heart to the kingdom of heaven. But there is something very important we must realize. There is a plan of God, even in painful events. St. John the Baptist was a righteous man, a man of God, full of divine grace. Such a man can only be touched by the wicked if there is a permission of providence. God cares for his own like the apple of his eye. Nothing happens outside his loving gaze. When God allows evil to occur, he does not do so because he wills evil, but because from that evil, he knows how to draw a greater good. We do not always manage to see this, but God is able to make the most wonderful things arise from the most tragic events. Jesus would not have begun his preaching in Galilee, and perhaps the entire Galilean ministry would not have existed if John the Baptist had not been imprisoned. There's a clear divine plan here, and this is repeated throughout the history of the Church. When Christians are persecuted in Jerusalem, the gospel reaches Samaria. When circumstances become difficult in the Holy Land, the apostles spread throughout the world. Many places evangelized today only came to know the Christian faith because persecution occurred. There would be no Catholic diocese in Siberia, for example, if there had not been communist persecution. And this teaches us something very concrete for our personal lives. Before murmuring, before complaining, before saying, "My God, why me? Why me?" try to see in the painful events of your life a possibility that God is preparing a resurrection. God would never allow evil if he could not draw a greater good from it. This is a fundamental principle of the Christian faith, expressed very clearly by Saint Augustine. For those who live in grace, for those who love God, everything, absolutely everything, works together for good. But there is also a logical consequence. Those who do not live in grace, who do not live in friendship with God, cannot say that everything works in their favor. But if you live in grace, even the darkest events, the most inexplicable, the most seemingly unjust, are part of a divine plan. This does not mean that God causes evil. Evil happens because of human freedom and human wickedness. But God, who is providence, knows how to make use even of human sin to advance his kingdom. He made use of Herod's sin, who imprisoned John the Baptist, to unleash the preaching of the kingdom of heaven. And the question that remains is this: what good might God be trying to bring forth when he allows the miseries in your life? God bless you.